We are hoping that not only seeing you today in little screens and tiles, but hoping to see you live walking around campus, gracing our halls, and enlivening everything that we have. It's been a real change for us here these last 3.5 weeks. And I am sure it has been for you across the state of Ohio and beyond, as all of us have tried to deal the best we can with a very changed set of circumstances. We know the kind of importance it is to look to each other, to protect each other, to be grateful to our families, to be grateful for our faith and our prayer, and to look for ways to keep ourselves safe and our families safe. So the adaptation that you've been able to master by coming to a virtual visit, you can chalk that up as yet one more thing that has changed because of the coronavirus, and one more thing that you will see your way through. I'm sure that the things that you had planned for your junior year or your senior year or your time are looking a lot different now. So let me talk about what might it look like in a new world in August, when you would be walking around the lake on campus, and you would be in the halls of Ursuline, and you would be in our classes. When students come here for the first time, two things. I usually say a little bit about our history, because we're very proud of our 149 years of history. And then I always tell them what our mission is, because our mission is really a pathway for you. It's not a pathway for our teachers, it's a pathway for you. So a little bit about our history. In 1870, and if you do the math on that, remember people have been talking now about the 1918 flu epidemic that swept around the world and killed many, many more people than you could imagine. There were more deaths as a result of the flu virus around the world than there were in all of World War I in combat. And Ursuline College was alive and well throughout that. Ursuline College has seen us through one pandemic, and Ursuline College will see us through the next. And what we have, the promise behind that, is the resilience of our students, your own grit and determination, that you will make something of your lives and you will make something of your education. So I congratulate you on having met this evening, and also for the grit and determination that I know it will take to get yourself through the end of this semester. The second thing I want to say, as I said, has to do with our mission. You've probably seen this on our website, or you've heard it from one of our admissions counselors, but we tell students that when you come here, our goal is that you will be transformed for service, leadership, and professional excellence. Service, leadership, professional excellence. Think of that in terms of the profession you want to join. Think of that in terms of the career you want to have. Think of that in terms of the job that you will have and the people that you will serve in your profession. Service, leadership, and professional excellence. I can't tell you that coming to Ursuline you'll find easy classes, because we're going to work you hard. But I can tell you that it will be worth it, because with what you put into your work here and what we do to support you in that work, you will be transformed. By the time you end your time with us, you will be a different person, you will be a stronger person, you will be a person who has grown in leadership, service, and professional excellence. So that's the framework that I would set for you for this afternoon, and so very glad to see you and to hear you in this activity today. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Sister Chris. We appreciate your comments, and we appreciate you joining us. We know that you're also very, very busy, and we appreciate your leadership and all the hard work that you have put in during this transition. And if that is all, I know we had a couple questions for you from some students. If you're okay with answering those before you go, is that okay?
Sure, yes, okay. I'm very glad to.
Okay, perfect. So we did have just one question or a couple questions come in, all relating to the COVID-19 and just what's the initial one, what is going on for the fall semester? Just people are just curious about school and then the potential start date of classes.
Oh, sure. Okay. So let me start with the potential start date of classes. We are scheduled to start classes on Monday, August 24th. So get your calendars out and get your information ready. And that's not the first time that you'll be on campus for that, because we do 2 days of all student orientation, new student orientation. That would be on Saturday the 22nd, which is also move-in day, and Sunday the 23rd. So plan on being with us for the 22nd and the 23rd, and then classes start on the 24th. We are all determined that together we will make our way through this. We will see the city of Cleveland, we will see Cuyahoga County, and we will certainly see the 60 acres in Pepper Pike in their own transformation as we make our way through into a better life. What else I would say? Our faculty, even now, are getting ready for you. I had a meeting earlier today with a couple faculty members. They're talking about the classes that they're going to have. You will have teachers who have a lot of experience with both first-year students and students across the whole range of their education. Some of our students teach both undergrad and grad. So we'll be getting ready for you just at the same time that you'll be getting ready for us.
Okay, perfect. So thank you again, Sister Chris, for joining us. We're gonna hop over to our Vice President of Enrollment, Susan, and she will be giving some enrollment updates.
Thanks, Roz. Welcome, everybody. We're really excited to have you here today, or not here, in the comfort of your homes. Of course, we're all getting used to this. We in admissions always thrive off the energy that you bring to us, and not having you face to face, there is a little bit of a disconnect, but we feel you in spirit, that's for sure. And we're excited for you as you travel along your path to graduation, and hopefully we'll be seeing you in the fall, if not sooner. So I thought I would spend a few moments just talking about really nuts and bolts of what's happening, at least on the admission end. First, you should have received information that we have postponed the deposit deadline to June. So June 1st instead of May 1st. So that gives you an extra month. We really are crossing our fingers that campuses will be open. Most college I'm coming across are extending their deadline to June 1st. So this may give you an opportunity to get those last minute visits in, and then make your decision as to who you're going to be choosing as far as your college for next fall. Second, we have read and admitted students on unofficial information. So for example, if you applied and were admitted and we were missing an official transcript or an official test score, we will be asking you for those materials. And then ultimately we'll be asking you for high school transcript. So you don't need to worry about that now. You have plenty of time to get it, but just keep that in the back of your mind. The final high school transcript is a requirement of proof of graduation, and also it's a federal financial aid requirement. So everything will be in order with your high school so that we'll be able to obtain those. Third, I mentioned financial aid, and that's probably a big concern for many of you. We know that under this state of conditions that people are losing jobs, being laid off, being cut back in hours. Of course, you've submitted your FAFSA with information that was known at the time, and things are changing. So I want to let you know that we're cognizant of that. There is a form on the financial aid website. If you go to ursuline.edu/cost-aid, you will see in the left-hand links place for financial aid forms. And under those forms, there's something called special circumstances. So if you had a change with your own job, or your mother and father have had a change in income, make sure you fill that form out and get that to us, and we can reevaluate your package. It may be that you're eligible for more federal aid or state grant, so we won't know that until you fill out that form and update the information to us. If you haven't received your aid from us, aid package, we are still packaging. You can log into our portal where you see your admission status, and we'll be posting the aid award, so you can get it that way. I do believe we still have staff going into the office and mailing packets, but there could be a delay because we're not in the office on a regular basis. So if you're anxious about it, you can log in and see your reward there. Let's see. Virtual spring events. This is the first one, and we'll be offering others. We'll be scheduling a nursing visit with our dean. That you'll get an invite for those nurses. You'll get an invite coming in your inbox. We'll also be scheduling other things like on academic services and other academic departments as we go along. So we're scrambling like you are to make sure everything's in place because we know there's a void. So look out of your inbox, or also check out our website for the most up-to-date information. We will also be posting 360 tours of campus, so you can get an inside look at some of the buildings. Watch for our Instagram. Our Instagram account will be featuring the students that we know that are coming, so you'll get to meet your classmates a little bit earlier. And I think I saw a story out there today, so those are currently being updated. And then we also have some podcasts available for you. So check out our virtual experience page on our website, and you'll be able to kind of relive Ursuline, maybe not in the flesh, but at least online. Sort of next steps for you that for those that have decided Ursuline is where you're going to be attending next fall. We do have orientation dates up, 27th, June 3rd, and July 23rd. You can view those under ursuline.edu/orientation to get more information on that or to register. And for housing, we typically send out the housing packet sometime in April. And then your housing assignments, you should know that by July. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be sending information. You don't receive housing information until you send in your deposit. So that's just an FYI in case you're really eager and have to sort of go in order so that we know that you're planning to stay on campus. It's a $200 deposit. 100 of that is allocated for the housing portion of it, and then we'll go from there. So we are all available via online, our email. We all have Ursuline cell phones. We check our voicemail in our offices, so we may not be in the office, but we're not out of touch, and certainly we're there for you to help. So good luck with everything. I'm going to turn it over to Roz, and we're eager to answer your questions.
Great, thank you, Susan. I appreciate your feedback and your updates for enrollment. We do have one question for you, and students are just wondering if we know when we're going to be doing campus visits again. If you can talk about that a little bit and maybe update students on that information.
Sure. Well, the best information we have now, which isn't all that great, you know, that everybody's just sort of living day to day and things changing every day. We are hopeful we'll be on campus by May 15th. If that's the case, the day we're back is likely the day we'll be giving visits and tours. So just you'll just have to keep checking back in. I'm really sorry about that. Nobody has answers that are definitive, but we do hope to be back on May 15th and in operation, so you will be able to visit then.
Okay, thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. So we're actually gonna keep things rolling and move right into our student panel. We're so excited to have a couple of our students here joining us today from their homes. Some are locally and some are international. So we appreciate them joining us. Our first student panel member is going to be Nadia. She is a teaching assistant senior on Ursuline's campus. She's also a ringer, so she makes the phone calls to you guys and keeps you guys engaged with our with us and with admissions. And she's also on a committee, or multiple committees, excuse me. So we're so excited to have Nadia join us today. We also have Isabella. She is a senior double major in law and business. She's also a student athlete. She's one of our admissions tour guides, so you've probably have seen her before, and she's also in the SAC organization. And last but not least, we have Jordan joining us. She is a junior here at Ursuline, nursing major, so she's going to be out in the field, joining our wonderful medical teams here shortly. So we're grateful that she's also joining us. She's on the UC programming board as well as SNOOK, and she's also a ringer as well. So I will have us go ahead and jump into the chat format. Also to mention, our director, Emily of Admissions, will be jumping in as well. Students, if you have a question, like I mentioned before, please Alt-H, go ahead and type your questions in, or you can just type in on your control bar, you can click that as well and go ahead and type in your questions. How this is gonna run, I have a few questions that have already came in, so I will select a student or the director to answer the question, and then we'll just move on accordingly. Sorry, guys, my cat's not having it. So if you hear that, my apologies. Okay, so the first question we have is actually going to be directed towards Emily. The first question is, when are we going to start setting up our classes? And then what about the students who are athletes? How will they do that? And will they still be starting on time?
Well, hello everybody. I'm so excited to be joining you today. And much like Sister Chris and Susan shared, no one has a crystal ball at this point. So really your best bet in terms of timeline is continuing to monitor Ursuline's website for the latest information. But when it comes to registering for classes and making that first step as an official Ursuline student, that process happens during academic orientation. So our academic orientation registration just went live this morning. So those dates that Susan shared with you, you can go online to ursuline.edu/orientation and sign up for your preferred date today if you are ready to make that commitment. And so during that orientation, you will meet with your academic advisor and schedule your classes. So part of that form when you're RSVPing will ask about kind of your academic plans, and then that way your advisor can really put a really great draft together so the conversation that you two have can be productive during orientation. So that happens during the summertime. And when it comes to our fall athletes, we are hopeful that everything will stay to the same timeline as it historically has. So any of our fall athletes preseason typically begins 2 weeks before the first day of classes. So those fall athletes will move in early and begin preseason in early August if everything goes as planned.
Perfect. Thank you, Emily, for answering that. So we're going to go ahead and jump into some student questions. And Nadia, if you can go ahead and answer this first question, that would be great. So one student wants to know, how was the transition from high school to Ursuline as a student?
So for me, I was actually pretty lucky because my high school, I feel like, prepared me really well for the academic side. I think the biggest change was not being at home because I decided to live on campus. So it was really weird not having my family around me all the time. But what was really awesome is everyone who lives on campus is pretty great. So like we've created our own little family. So even though I'm not with my actual family, I'm with my Ursuline family, and it really helped me feel welcomed and get through my freshman year.
Okay, and Nadia, just to follow up really quick, what would you say was the most difficult part of your transition into Ursuline?
I'd have to say probably the lab work because I came in as a bio pre-med major. So compared to my high school lab work, it was a lot. Like it was very involved. I was in chemistry, so we were working with all kinds of chemicals all the time. So it was something that was difficult for me. I was scared of like burning my hand off or something, but my professor was really awesome and she really helped me and I got through it and it was really fun, honestly.
Good, great. Thank you, Nadia, for sharing that with us. We'll go ahead and jump into the second question, and I'll go ahead and direct this to Jordan. Students want to know a little bit about residence life. How is it like? What do you like about it? Was there some type of adjustment? Talk to us a little bit about your experience living on campus, maybe even some of the food or activities that you may be involved in.
Okay, so my freshman year, I was supposed to have a roommate and they ended up switching to another school like right before school started. So I ended up being like living in my own room by myself. So it was like a big adjustment. I didn't have a roommate. I didn't really have somebody like that I could just go places with. So I really had to put myself out there. And the whole first week of classes, they have so much going on for people who live on campus. So I was able to they had like a cookout the one night and I went and met a bunch of people there. They had games and activities and different things. They had like the inflatables that you could go to outside. They had all kinds of stuff just to get you like acclimated to living there. And then they also have METS. So that is the cafeteria in Pilla. And I met like a lot of people just going to the dining halls and sitting down and talking to people there.
And I would jump in and say, too, Jordan was talking about METS, our food service, and she was talking about all of our Welcome Week activities. And those are open to every student on campus. So whether you are commuting or you're a transfer student, whether you're a traditional age student, a non-traditional age student, you are all welcome to take advantage of those activities and those services on campus too.
Absolutely. Thank you, Emily and Jordan, for answering that. And Jordan, since you're on the call, as a nursing major, talk to us a little bit about your experience. We know that you're in your junior year right now. We know that courses are probably getting a little bit more critical. Kind of walk us through, especially for those who may be on call who are nursing majors, walk us through kind of your experience so far at Ursuline, the support you have gotten, maybe some of the resources that you have used as well.
Yeah. So I love our program at Ursuline. I'm really happy that I chose Ursuline to go. Their nursing program is amazing. I know that it's amazing just because anytime I go to the hospitals for clinical, it's literally every single week. The nurses are always so excited to see Ursuline nursing students there to help out for the day, and everybody always talks so highly about us. So it's really cool that I'm a part of that and that I can say that I go to Ursuline. I'm a nursing student at Ursuline. Also, all of my professors are very, they want you to succeed. They want you to learn. They want you to be the best that you can. They're all very helpful. They always take the time to make sure that you understand, and if you ever need anything, they're always willing to take time out of their week just to meet with you and sit down and go over tests or questions that you might have. The lab in the nursing building, the nursing lab, there's always somebody in there that if you ever want to just go practice a skill or if you need help with really anything, you can always just go there and talk to whoever's in there, and it's really awesome. I really love it.
Thank you, Jordan. We appreciate that feedback. I hope that helped a few students just kind of know what resources they have there and the type of support that you would receive at Ursuline. Also, please go ahead and put a question down there. If you have any questions, let us know. But I will jump into the next one. And this will be directed for Bella. What's one thing you wish you would have known about college prior to going in? And then so far, what's the best memory you've made at Ursuline?
So definitely my transition was a little different because I'm from Canada. So the transition from going all the way here to the States and meeting a whole different group of people was definitely challenging. I felt that one thing about college that I really thought I should know is you really need to be organized. So I find myself now to be on top of everything. Everything's in a planner, everything's organized within my laptop. I always know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm always ahead just because I am able to organize with that aspect. Your first semester, you kind of get used to it and the hang of it. So when you get into second semester, it actually ends up being like really easy to be on top of things. Another thing about the whole my favorite memory thing, I would have to say my favorite memory is more like a lot that goes on within the dorms because I do live on campus. I've met a lot of awesome friends and a lot of awesome people in the dorms, and we kind of just do things all the time. So whether it be like game nights or movie nights, we just recently, well, before the whole coronavirus shut down the school, we every Wednesday night, a bunch of my friends and actually like a bunch of people on campus would get together on Wednesdays and watch The Masked Singer. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's really fun. And it's just kind of like a good community connector. I always feel like I have like someone there for me whenever I need it, because it's really hard for me to go home like every weekend being an international student. So it's definitely something that I very much cherish.
Perfect. Thank you, Bella. And I'm going to follow up as well. Talk to us a little bit about being a student athlete. I don't know if we have any athletes on the call right now, but talk about a little about the balance, a little bit about our athletics team, maybe the coaching staff, just to kind of give a little bit of insight of our other co-curricular activities on campus.
So yeah, I am a student athlete. I play on Ursuline's soccer team. I'm also very invested in the athletic department. I am a part of SAC, which is the Student Athletic Council Committee Association thing. And with that being said, I'm very involved within the athletics. I'm also registered as a coach for the soccer team, so I'm also very close with the coaches from other sports teams as well. With that being said, in terms of the athletic department, I'm a fall sport. So as a fall sport, I come in earlier for preseason and I'm able to get adjusted to campus living, you know, kind of like school beforehand, which is really awesome. Athletics, you are very invested in your team, and the balance at first is kind of difficult, but coaches are very accommodating and helpful and just want you to succeed. It's not sports come first, it's your education and your schooling come first. So that's very important, being an athlete on campus and off campus. There's resources for you, there's tutoring services as well. All athletic teams have mandatory study hours that they have to meet, whether that be in the library, in the athletic department, or even just in your room. Coaches are always there for you. So I know that my freshman year, I was going through a hard time, and my coach recommended me to go see a psychiatrist on campus, just someone I can talk to, which is really awesome. Another thing is the athletic department really likes to support one another. So I can't think of a time on a Saturday where I didn't go to a basketball game or a volleyball game, or, you know, during this time we would go watch softball and we'd go watch tennis, which is always fun, and it's always motivating to always be there for each other. The athletic department, just as like different committees on campus, are very close, and that's just really awesome to have. It's a whole other support system.
Great. Thank you, Bella. Such a great description. Such a great description of our personnel on campus and the support that they truly do have for our students. I don't see any more questions, but I did want to follow up just as a last question for all of the people on the panel. And we'll actually start with Emily. I don't think I mentioned, but she's also an alumni of Ursuline as well. So she has a history of experience being at Ursuline, seeing the different shifts of the student body. And then obviously now she's in a leadership position. But the last question I want to ask everyone on the panel, and Emily, will go from you to Nadia, Jordan, and Bella, kind of how we flow through the questions. And that is, what is it like going to or working for a women's focused college? What is that experience like for you? So just kind of talk to us a little bit about that.
Wow. So I feel like Ursuline really is a type of environment and a type of place that supports all of our students and empowers all of our students. I think I was never in a situation when I was a student where I felt uncomfortable sharing my voice and stepping up as a leader. And I think Ursuline really gives our students that platform to step into their own voice and really be the driver of their lives. You know, take charge of what your experience is and drive change for yourself and for others. And so I think Ursuline does a fantastic job of really giving our students that ability to be their own leader and to use their own voice.
Yeah, to go after what Emily said, I definitely feel like I always have a voice at Ursuline, and I can say what my opinion is, regardless if everyone agrees with my opinion or not. I can say what I want, and I'm supported no matter what. And I love the fact that when my professors will lecture, you know, we're always considered. And if anything, you know, when someone talks about something and they say he or and him reference like that, my professors tend to say she and her. And I think like that's really empowering because that's not something that's done very often. So that's something that always resonates with me, and it's very appreciative. And I love the fact that I've grown to be the leader I have today, and I don't think I would have anywhere else if I went to a different college.
I agree. I agree with everything that was said. I really do feel like Ursuline has pushed me to be the best I can be, and has exposed me to so many new opportunities that I don't think I would get very many other places. And yeah, I feel like everyone else said it very well. That's what I was thinking too.
I totally agree with what everyone has been saying. Just to further, in high school and growing up, I've always been like known for one thing, you know, like, oh, that's Bella, she plays soccer. Oh, that's Bella, she's on the soccer team. Like, and when I came to Ursuline, I didn't want to be just that singled out thing and only be narrowed in on one activity. So I branched off. Now I'm like more than that. I'm a part of so much more programs. I have a job on campus. People see me giving tours. In classes, I'm not just known as the athlete. I'm actually known as one of the smartest people in the class that love to participate. So Ursuline's really like taken me out of my shell and letting me expand my horizons and meet some amazing people, help me change my opinions, my views, knowledge me more on topics that I was not aware of. And I think that's what Ursuline is. It really brings you out just as a college should.
Fantastic. Thank you guys so much for being a part of our student panel. You as well, Emily, and answering some of the questions that students had coming in. And we did get one more question before I have Emily close and do our updates and wrap up. Megan wanted to know, is there any way that incoming freshmen can connect and reach out to other freshmen who are looking for a roommate? Susan, I know you mentioned the questionnaire for resident services, and we also have different social media that students can jump on and kind of talk to each other on those sites as well. But Emily, do you want to jump in? Some people are talking about how do you pick a roommate. We're getting a few more questions coming in now towards the end. So do you want to talk a little bit about how that process works and how in picking a roommate, and then I'll hop to someone else for the other two questions.
Awesome. Yeah, so when it comes to roommates, you know, that's always a very popular topic, especially among admitted students. And I would say one of the best places where you can meet other incoming students is going to be at academic orientation. So if everything goes as planned, those will happen on campus and in person. So it's a great day to meet other incoming students. You may be signing up with some of your teammates, or you might know some other people from your school or your area who might be attending that date. So it's a really nice way to meet some people that are going to be coming to Ursuline. So I would say your academic orientation is one of the great opportunities to meet other incoming students. And if you know of another Ursuline student who's starting this fall that you would like to room with, if the two of you both put down each other on your housing questionnaire, then you'll be matched up as roommates. So if you do have someone in mind, as long as the two of you have matching names on your questionnaires, then you'll be matched up accordingly. But if you don't have someone in mind already, that's perfectly fine. And our residence life staff does an amazing job at really reviewing those questionnaires to get at the heart of who you are as a student and your living style, so that they can make matches that are compatible, so that you're rooming with someone who is a compatible match with you in terms of your living style.
Perfect. And on that note, actually, Emily, just to kind of follow up, someone was wondering about the rundown of the schedule for orientation. Do you want to talk a little about that, or when they should
Sure.
receive that information?
Yeah, so more details will definitely be coming through your email, but the academic orientations are open to you and your parents. So your family is welcome to join you at academic orientation. And during that day, it's typically usually it's like 9 to 2 in the afternoon ish. So during that event, you will hear more about our core curriculum. Like I said, you'll meet your academic advisor and physically schedule your classes. You'll get your student ID picture taken so that you can get your student ID card. You'll get to meet some of our orientation team and get to hear more from our current students. You'll, I think, hear some more about some of the resources on campus and meet up with some other departments are typically there. So if you have questions about financial aid, or if you have questions about athletics, or if you want to get involved with our Office of Diversity or campus ministry, any of our student groups, those departments are typically at orientation too. So it really is a very busy day, but you, and you also get connected to like your Ursuline email and our online learning platform, D2L. So you get access to all those digital pieces, those technology pieces too, making sure that you can get connected to Ursuline about that. So there's a lot of information that is put into those academic orientation days. They're very busy, but definitely a great day to kind of jumpstart your Ursuline career.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So I don't see any more questions. I know that Mike is going to get back to Lucille regarding her specific question. But other than that,
there's a question about the business program.
Yes, I think if you want to go ahead and touch on, I know Mike is going to connect her with her counselor as well. But yeah, please, since you're actually in the program, it'd be great just to kind of give an overview of your experience.
Okay, yeah. So just to go with the business program. So I'm a part of the business management portion of the program, and there's different areas that you can get specifically into. So we've kind of like combined to make it business management, but within there's accounting, there's marketing, human resources, microeconomics, macroeconomics. So it's a very broad sense. There's also different areas of the business you can get into. So like there's sports management, which you can narrow into, or just regular business management. Business also is a very good program to tie in with law. So you'll be studying things like organizational law or business law within each program. So that's really cool. The professors within the program are very knowledgeable and organized. It's very informal, and the program is actually very helpful. I personally love the program so much. I made it a major for me when I was not even gonna be remotely in business at all. I wanted to only focus on law. There's more to the program than just the classes. There's a lot of internship opportunities in which you can have, and Ursuline connects well with the different business corporations within our area to allow you to branch off and get that kind of like actual help or experience that you need in order to prepare yourself for graduation.
Great. Thank you, Bella, for walking through that. And students who are on the panel, if you want to leave your contact information, maybe your email in the chat box for other students to reach out to you, maybe, put your first and last name. So that way, if they need a reference or they have any further questions that they specifically only want to kind of ask a student, if you're open to doing that, we'd be more than grateful. But we're going to round up this chat. I'm going to actually go ahead and pass it over to Emily, and we'll jump back into the last PowerPoint slide to give you guys a few updates. And yeah, we'll go from there.
Well, thank you so much to Rosalind for hosting all of us. And you haven't seen him, but Mike is working behind the scenes to make sure all of our technology is up and running. So thank you to those two staff members for launching this program. But like we've mentioned before, we are going to be rolling out a whole bunch of more of these online events. So a lot will be dedicated to specific majors. We'll have more online sessions for specific departments on campus. So if you want to hear more about financial aid, or if you want to hear more about our Career Fit program and internship experiences and opportunities and how Ursuline really gives you an edge in that way, you'll be able to hear more from the different departments on campus. So the best place to be keeping an eye out is ursuline.edu/visit. So we'll be posting all of those virtual events and opportunities there to that page. So it's a one-stop shop to stay up to date on all opportunities. So at this point, really you have some big decisions ahead of you in terms of where you'll be going in the fall. So definitely feel free to reach out to your counselor or to me directly. I'm more than happy to help out. Like Sister Chris and Susan have said, while we're not in the same physical location, we are still here for our students. And I think that that's one thing I want to share with everyone, is that the Ursuline community is stronger and more united than ever. And we are here for you in any way that we can. Our lives have changed, your lives have changed. And if there's anything that we can do to help you during this transition, please let us know. We are definitely here to help you out. So reach out to your counselor, reach out to our staff so that we can help you make that decision. And if you are ready to make that commitment to becoming an Arrow in the fall, you can submit your deposit at ursuline.edu deposit, and that lets us know that you plan to join us and become an Arrow. So I'll be adding my contact information into the chat box so that you can reach out to me if you think of anything. But we are so glad that you were able to join us today for this virtual event, and we look forward to seeing you at other virtual events. Okay, well, thank you, and we'll be signing off. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.